Oh yes, we are simply your best station. Starr 103.5 FM. Right here serving you with the best in the capital and beyond. Lovely Thursday once again, and you most welcome to Ghana's #1 personality show. It is said that the man who can drive himself further once the effort gets painful is the man who will win. And we credit Roger Bannister with this. The man who can drive himself further once the efforts gets painful is the man who will win. A very good evening to all of you, our wonderful listeners, and you're most welcome to Ghana's most compelling conversation platform, Star Chat, where legacies are honored, stories are told, and of course they get to unfold, and voices that shape the world are heard. We're here on another Thursday, and tonight we journey into the mind of a man whose name is etched in Ghana's democratic and policy-making history. He's a man who stood at the nexus of policy, power, and politics. From the serene town of Lonto by Yeji in the Bono East region to the highest corridors of Ghanaian politics, he's been marked by his unwavering commitment, intellectual prowess, and a passion for national development. Well, he was born in my birth month, so. And good to know, why not? March 5, 1958. And to make it even sweet, he's also a Kwabena. His story is one that is woven with academic brilliance and a profound sense of duty. Our guest tonight is armed with a PhD and a Master of Science from the University of Bristol, UK, and also an MBA from Lancaster University. He embodies the rare blend of scholarly insight and practical governance. And that's why we're celebrating him tonight. Bringing a lot to bear on this show, his expertise in development management and industrial relations has been the cornerstone of his impactful intervention in Ghana's complex energy sector and legislative processes. We're celebrating a man who, from his early days as Deputy Minister of Information, where he honed his skills in government communication to become the founding CEO of Ghana's Petroleum Commission. Well, his leadership has been transformative. Yet it was his tenure as Minister of Power that truly tested his resolve. His appointment as Minister for Power in 2014 placed him at the helm of one of the country's most critical sectors during the turbulent period marked by energy deficits and infrastructural challenges. How did he navigate this? He was tasked with navigating the country through the deep, murky waters of Doomso. Tonight, we'll hear all the story. Amidst the infamous Doomso crisis, he stood as a symbol of accountability, hope, and boldly pledging to resign if the energy challenges were not resolved. A pledge that underscored his integrity and dedication. Beyond ministerial duties, he served as a Member of Parliament for Pru East from 2013 until 2025, championing development in his constituency and contributing significantly as chairman of the Committee on Mines and Energy. But you know, my guests and our guest is more than his titles. He's a man of thoughts and conscience. Whether in the lecture halls of the UK, boardrooms of energy authorities, and community fields in Bono East, he remains grounded, gracious, and guided by purpose. Tonight, beyond the megawatts and motions in Parliament, we peel back the layers of the man behind the portfolio. He's a father, a patriot, philosopher of policy. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome to Star Chat, former Minister for Power, former Member of Parliament for Pru East, and a man who wears many hats, Dr. Kwabena Donkor. Doc, most welcome. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing well by His grace.
And you look it as well. You look well.
Well, His grace is upon us.
His grace is indeed upon us. I'll be coming to you to share with us maybe some of the health and wellness, tips that you have to keep you going Because considering your age and you look so handsome and you keep going. What is the secret, baby?
Flattery.
Oh,
You are flattering me.
it's the truth. It's the truth, Doc. It's the truth that we're saying right here. What keeps you going to be young? What is it?
Well, grace, hard work, determination, and then passion.
And then passion.
Yeah. For me, passion is very critical.
I love that.
You cannot excel in whatever you set out to do without passion.
So you're passionate about everything that you do.
Whatever I have to do, yes, I have to do it well.
You have to do it well. You don't just do it. Well, you're welcome on to Star Chat. We are live here in Accra on Star 103.5 FM. Also in Kumasi on Ultimate FM. That's 106.9 in Kumasi. And Empire 102.7 FM in Sekondi, Takoradi. A big thank you to our proud sponsors, MTN Everywhere You Go and Star Assurance. Well, we have a lot coming up. So, Doc, tell us, what have you been up to lately?
Well, relaxing a bit, researching, helping behind the scenes, and setting up a consultancy.
Oh, you've set up or you're setting it up?
Well, I've just set one up.
Wow.
And I'm also engaged in farming.
You're engaged in farming. It's going to be an interesting discussion because we'll delve into all of that. But do you miss Parliament?
Yes, I do. I miss the friendships across the divide. I miss the intellectual debates. I miss the banter. And I miss the legislative process, especially the deletes and inserts when we're going through the various stages. It sort of focuses your mind. That I miss.
That you miss.
What I don't miss.
That's right.
Is being in the public eye. What I don't miss is the constituency responsibility, not the development side of it, but the human side of it. The expectation of constituents, the miseducation of the Ghanaian electorate in terms of entitlement, demands on MPs. That I don't
That
miss.
got you worried indeed as an MP, right? Frankly.
Yes, that is one of the weaknesses of our democracy. Our democracy has become a marketplace democracy. Why do I say this? At the district level, even the district assembly elections, people will go to houses to campaign.
Star 103.5
And then they will ask them, oh, what have you brought? They place demands on them, even at the district assembly level.
Really?
Where assemblymen are unpaid until now. So for me, that is the biggest worry. Our value system in politics. We've been miseducated to believe that political office is about sharing goods, not about service.
A very interesting subject that you've introduced, the value system. You know, some say, well, culturally that's what it is. When you're going out to also visit people, you really must go bearing gifts and all of that. What would you say? Is it the people demanding, or you think that people are also offering, as in the politicians, going out there bearing gifts so people feel that they are entitled and they become accustomed to it?
I have stated publicly that we get the type of politicians we deserve. Politicians reflect our value system. They don't come from different planets. They come from our societies. And therefore, they represent our values. And that is my biggest worry about our value system. Look, I will normally prefer using the district level assembly. When people go campaigning, you'll be shocked that somebody will vote for someone because he or she gave him 10 cedis or 5 cedis, rather than who is more competent. And therefore, if we reduce our electoral rights, our voting rights, to tradable commodities, we can then not blame those who happen to be in national positions, because they are reflecting our values.
But Doc, one will also say, is it not ignorance? People are not exposed, they are not educated, and they don't know some of these. So clearly, we that are privileged in quotes and we are there, we're educated, some sensitization should go on. Our systems should educate them and inculcate those values in them.
You see, if you take education to be formal training, we'll get it wrong. Almost every Ghanaian adult is educated. It is just the type of education. Our parents and the generations before them were more patriotic than we are.
But they weren't that educated.
They did not have the formal qualifications.
Correct.
Yeah. But they had real education, practical education, education underpinned by values, education underpinned by patriotism, education underpinned by nationalism. Today we just have formal qualifications.
Are we losing our values as a people from where you sit and what you've been through, going through the years? How do you see it?
Well, I wouldn't say we are losing. I would be more emphatic. We have lost.
Wow.
Yes.
We have.
We have.
That is dangerous.
It is. And that is the biggest challenge. And so if we have to rediscover, then we have to go back to our values, what made us people, the love. You see, Ghanaian society traditionally was communalistic. You could leave any parent in the neighborhood, saw any child as his or her ward. And therefore, if you were growing up, if you were misbehaving, the person didn't need permission. Whichever older person was around saw you as his or her ward and disciplined you. So there were communal values. Even in our agriculture, my late father established a village called Krachi Krum in the Sabronu, around the Sabronu area by Bokrua. Anytime we're harvesting cocoa, the whole community gathered on one person's farm.
Really?
Yes.
Without asking them to?
No.
They
Yes.
Voluntarily? Wow.
Yes. They will come, help you, crack the cocoa pods at what we will call aboye. Wow. Some those days they will put a thing of makara, we'll call it tinapa.
Yes.
In places, and as you crack the pots, if you find one, yes.
The good old days.
So it was communal. And you would do same for the neighbor on his farm or her farm. So society was more communal. Values were shared across a broad spectrum. Today we have become so individualistic. And that is the danger.
And that is the education that we want. Thanks so much for, taking us back to tell us that there was a time without even formal education, people had shared value. People were there. They were there for one another. We need to bring that back. And I think that maybe the NCC and other bodies should be doing a lot more, not just for politics, but the whole spectrum. Who failed us? And I want you to tell us, is it a political class or system? Is it the religious bodies? Is it chieftaincy? Our parents? The community? Why did we get it wrong? Who failed us?
You see, we have experienced a catastrophic failure of leadership across board, beginning with traditional rulers. traditional rulers embodied our values. Then religious leaders, both the church and the mosque, they have failed us. And then the middle and professional classes, we are probably the worst. Then our elected representatives. So it's a cacophony of failure across the space. Let's even take our captains of industry. How many businesses survived the demise of founding fathers? How many? Will you believe that the first asphalt road was constructed by a Ghanaian contractor?
You really?
Yes.
The first
asphalt road in Ghana, Accra and Sawam, was constructed by Suede Road contractors.
Wow.
In this,
and where are they now? Suede Road contractors are gone. You mentioned Boachi Mattress.
Yes.
You can mention Tata Brewery.
SK Men in the construction industry.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Doc, so that is serious.
Yes.
So it means that after the demise of the founders,
precisely,
there are no generational businesses. People cannot.
No.
That is something that we must look at.
Seriously. So for any people who do not think across generations, there is a danger for such a people. And that has permeated our politics. And that is why I see our political failures as symptomatic of a deeper problem. In our politics, we think short term. We think in electoral cycles. We do not think decades. We do not, and unfortunately.
And that cuts across both parties or major parties or all political parties in Ghana.
Ghanaian politics as a whole is
we
short
are
term.
myopic. We are thinking of
It's
the next
short term.
elections too short term.
Yeah, it's short term.
Wow.
And that is the danger. And there's almost always a conflict between the short term and the long term. It's like a farmer. You have your seeds, your grains. If you eat your grains now, you have no harvest. If we do not invest long term, medium term, we'll have no harvest.
And it's interesting because then the politician is also thinking about the next elections, thinking about the electorates. The electorates are impatient. They're just waiting. Oh, where's the next meal coming from? We want shortcuts. So maybe they are also clamoring for that. And the politician feels that, well, no long-term planning, just short-term, so that I can also win the next election. And it's a cycle.
Precisely. The average Ghanaian voter, in my opinion, does not see through issues of bread and butter. Let's take the low savings culture in Ghana. If you do not think long term, you don't save. If you do not think long term, you don't save.
Starr FM.
And savings is equal to investment. And that is the psyche.
You know, we'll come back to that. That's issues of life, and thanks for bringing it on the table, on the front burner, for us to discuss it. And it's not going to end here. People should pick this up in churches, at mosques, in institutions. That can we think long term? Can we be patient? Can we have some values that we can actually say, look, this is what makes us Ghanaians, and we can move on from there. We'll come back and we'll talk about it. But let's talk about the idea of a 24-hour economy. It has gained traction in most political debates. I mean, your party brought it through, especially as a proposed flagship policy. What are your honest thoughts on the feasibility and impact of implementing such a model, Dr. Kwabena Donkor?
It is doable, but by installments.
So 24-hour economy should not be rolled out as a holistic across board. It should be in phases.
In phases, in my opinion. For example, the critical sector will be industry. What can we do to get our factories working 24 hours? Our factories. And you see, if you study development management or development studies, for a country to move from essentially agrarian to industrialize, you do it through manufacturing. Manufacturing is the highway, because manufacturing creates jobs. Manufacturing creates value. Manufacturing creates increased outputs because of value addition to raw materials. And so for me, the focus on the 24-hour economy should be industry. If you consider that in 1927, 3 commodities accounted for 90% of our foreign exchange earnings: cocoa, timber, and gold. Exported raw, unprocessed.
No value added.
No value added. 2024, which are the 3 leading exporting commodities: gold, cocoa, instead of timber, oil. Exported essentially raw.
After almost 100 years.
Yes. And so that is the development challenge. It's a challenge of mentality. It's a challenge of thinking differently. How do we create jobs? Remember that at independence, Ghana's population was about 6 million in 1957. Today we are 32 million. The land mass of Ghana has not increased. It's the same land mass. Population has more than quadrupled.
Yes.
In the same land mass, in the same space. How do we create jobs? We will create jobs by turning our God-given raw materials into products. So that is the route, the highway. As we process our goods, as we come out with manufactured goods instead of the raw exports, we are creating job opportunities. We are creating wealth. Let's take gold. Today we are excited about our gold exports. KNUST, in the College of Arts, they have a course on jewelry. What is our jewelry industry like? That is, if we have one.
Well, I think just the PMMC and some other, gold or jewelry dealers, and that's it.
That is it. We really have no jewelry industry.
Maybe that's why the president wants to create the gold village or a souk of a sort.
Yeah. The largest gold exporter in Africa. We have literally no jewelry industry. How do we add value?
Yes.
So what has changed between now and 1927?
These are food for thought, and these are deep issues that we need to take a look at. And staying with you on the gold business, I really also want us to get into Galamsey and all that has happened. Dr. Donkor, President Mahama has just announced a bold new policy offering whistleblowers 10% of the value of any seized gold or cash recovered from illegal mining activities. What is your assessment of this incentive as a tool to fight galamsey and illegal gold trading?
Well,
Looking at that, is our major export earner.
it will be one bullet in our armory. That alone cannot do the trick. There is a lot of miseducation and wrong education. I remember when the late Ohene Kena, who was then Minister for Mines and Energy, may he so rest in peace, when they started thinking of small-scale mining, the idea was to legitimate artisanal mining, which had existed for more than a century. How do we legitimize that, turn it into modern businesses without destroying the environment, regulating what was being done underground?
So there's been an attempt to do that.
Yes, that is why small-scale mining was introduced. Yeah. But what we have had is a massive regulatory failure on a global scale, not just in mining, but the bane of Ghana's underdevelopment is largely regulatory failure.
Is it about enforcement? Because maybe we might have the laws and all of that. Where have we failed?
Precisely. A regulator,
Wow. It's
a
not enforcing.
regulator is to ensure compliance. And when there is no compliance, the regulator is to exact penalties, painful penalties, so that you don't repeat. Do we have that? Our regulatory bodies, and I have been a regulator before.
Did you sleep on the job?
I didn't.
Because if you had done that, maybe by
I
now.
was the first chief executive of Petroleum Commission. And petroleum upstream, during my time, no. A regulator is not to be loved. A regulator is not to be loved. There is a regulatory mindset. The mindset is to protect the public good, protect the state, and protect consumers. So irrespective of whichever stakeholder, including the state acting through its agencies, the regulator, you have a responsibility to exact compliance from them.
And talking about it being on a global scale or being widespread, it means that many of our regulators have failed us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Not only in the extractive space.
Correct.
Not only in the extractive space. Even in the service space. A good example of a failure as a regulator was the Bank of Ghana. You see, the Bank of Ghana is responsible for monetary policy. The Minister for Finance is responsible for fiscal policy. When you have the CD running through the roof, it epitomizes a regulatory failure. The regulator has gone to sleep.
So you believe that in time past, the Bank of Ghana failed us?
Absolutely. Why did we have to spend over 20 million
to do a cleanup exercise?
Solving
a
9-8 million problem, a billion problem?
So you actually disagreed with the banking cleanup exercise?
Absolutely. There were other methodologies. There were other tools.
You were in parliament. You could have raised the voice, gone ahead. You didn't?
We did. We did. We opposed it. However, we all had it on the air. It had been announced. We opposed it. For example, assuming Bank A was being mismanaged, the Bank of Ghana Act gives the Bank of Ghana the right to impose a management on the institution. Why did we not choose that option? The shareholder is only a shareholder. And if anybody had abused his position, either as a chairman of the board, a managing director, etc., that person could be tried. But the bank was a separate institution. The bank should not pay for the crimes or the purported crimes of shareholders or managers, because the bank was a separate legal institution. The state could even confiscate the equity, the shares of perpetrators of fraud, and keep the institution going. So it was a massive, a gargantuan regulatory failure. Let me give you an example to buttress and why I'm on Bank of Ghana.
Yes.
If you take the 2023 audited accounts of ECG, ECG incurred a loss of about 10.2 billion cedis in 2023. 8.2 billion out of the 10.2 billion was attributable to exchange losses. That epitomizes the mismanagement of the macro economy, especially monetary policy, which is the responsibility of the Bank of Ghana.
Interesting. And as a country where we've come from and where we want to go, maybe we'll also sidestep it a bit and get into the energy issues again. As a former minister for power and someone deeply familiar with energy policy and utility financing and all of that, I want your candid opinion on the 1 cedi per litre fuel levy introduced by the government in recent weeks. What do you make of that, as somebody who's been in that seat before?
My biggest challenge is that we have a two-legged problem. One of inadequate revenue and one of inefficiency,
non-payments and all,
poor management, non-cost recovery,
Yes.
etc. So the 1 cedi per litre additional, it's not a new levy. It's just that it was increased from 95 cedis per litre to 1 cedi 95 per litre. So it's not a new levy.
Okay.
What it attempts to do is to address the revenue side.
Okay.
But the other side, it doesn't address that.
That's an interesting discussion that you've introduced, that yes, we can go out there, introduce some more, levies or revenue, but the mismanagement and the inefficiency, if we don't tackle them, it comes back to cause 90.
Precisely.
Interesting.
Precisely. I chaired the NDC manifesto energy subcommittee on power. Jinapo chaired the energy committee. I chaired the power side.
Okay.
Yes. And one of our proposals was to also look at our institutional arrangements to introduce private sector management practices
103.5
into the utilities.
Starr FM.
Let me use this opportunity to explain this. I am totally in support of ECG remaining 100% state-owned at this time.
No privatization of ECG.
No.
Okay.
You see, the word privatization, again, in the literature is used too fluidly.
Okay.
Under Thatcherism and ruling back of the state, there was the issue of equity, diluting state equity. That is hardcore privatization. Then there was the second school of thought, which was about introducing private sector managerial practices.
Okay. So state gets to own it, but manage it.
Precisely.
Ah.
I am for
you are
that.
Okay.
I am for that. You see, there's a history. I'm a student of development management. There's a history why state enterprises were set up. At the time of independence, very few Ghanaians would have had the resources of setting up enterprises, some of these things. So if you study the 7-year development plan, there was a provision that when some of these industries mature, they will be made available for Ghanaians to buy equity through the stock exchange and other arrangements. So there is a purpose for state ownership other than strategic assets. There was a purpose of mobilization, etc., etc. Having said that, our Achilles heel has been the management of state enterprises.
That's some history and education there. I'm happy we have you on the show to take us back and let us know that back then after independence, that was the strategy.
Yes.
It means that the private sector can efficiently.
Precisely.
But government can still own it.
Own it.
Is it a PPP? Is it?
No. You just
introduce management.
For example, ECG.
Okay.
As much as I was against PDS, and let me again confess, as the Minister for Power,
yes,
I sent a proposal to Cabinet. We had two choices, either to go for equity privatization of ECG or to go for the concession. I sent a proposal, Cabinet agreed, the President agreed, and we went for the concession. Initially, the intention was that even in the concession, Ghanaian businesses were to have up to 20% equity in the concession.
Right.
So that the big boys could come in, introduce technology, introduce capital, and then run the concession for the period of the concession. Because they would have had Ghanaian businesses as partners, the expectation was that at the end of the concession period, the Ghanaian businesses would have learned a lot on the job, and in the next round of bidding, Ghanaian businesses could.
But isn't that what PDS did?
No. When unfortunately we lost 2016.
Correct.
MPP came. They changed the playing field and ruled that Ghanaian businesses must have 51% instead of our 20%.
You, in your time as Minister of Power, yes, you thought that Ghanaians weren't ready enough at the time to have that knowledge or managerial expertise to handle it?
Not just the knowledge, the capital infusion.
Okay. But maybe during MPP, they had the people, Ghanaians, who are the capital, or?
Well, the expectation was that the American Development Corporation was going to give us up to about 500 million. Yes. And then the private entity coming will also bring about 500 million. Because we have a serious challenge of obsolete equipment. We have a serious infrastructure deficit. So if we were pumping about $1 billion into it, we would have resolved the problem. And how many Ghanaian firms? And that was why the configuration was 20%. And so you had the big boys, the French, big firms, all being interested. When we changed the equity holding within the concession, once Ghanaians had 51%, it changed the boardroom dynamics.
Wow.
There was going to be reputational damage if the Ghanaian partners couldn't bring in the money.
Correct.
They couldn't. And that was why it was left with only the Filipino.
Miracle, yes.
So that configuration. You see, sometimes you can shout nationalism, nationalism, nationalism in ignorance. It is not just about ownership, but
The
it is
wherewithal,
about
the
having
capacity.
the wherewithal, capacity to manage and then pay dividends to the Ghanaian state.
Wow. Wow.
And so, back to the question, yeah, the additional 1 cedi will help with the revenue gap. But until we fix ECG, by the way, ECG only covers about 43% of the landmass of Ghana. 67% of the landmass of Ghana is covered by NEDCO.
Yes.
But NEDCO's total power consumption is just about 10% of our national power consumption.
So what about their production capacity?
No, because they are distributing companies.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. What
So
they
it's only
consume-
10%. What do you
Yes, in the NEDCO area,
area?
which is 67% of the landmass of Ghana.
Ghana.
Because Tema alone, the Tema area
industrial-
alone,
yes.
consumes more power than the whole of the NEDCO area.
Wow. Up north. Wow.
Yes.
Interesting.
And NEDCO covers parts of Ashanti, the northernmost parts of Ashanti. Covers Volta, Bruahafo, or now Bunu East, Bunu,
Yeah.
and then part of Ahafo, all the way up.
north. Right.
Because power consumption is not by land mass,
Mass.
it is by industrial activity.
There's a lot of work, and I think that we need to bring down. We need to bring you back and just talk about power and its distribution and everything that has to do with it. It's interesting, the dynamics and the insights that you are introducing. But let's get, before we go for a break, I want to know from you. You were Ghana's first minister for power, appointed during the heat and everything, the heart of Dumso crisis. What was going through your mind when you received that call? Tell us.
A very
today.
good friend,
Yes.
a very good friend of mine, who is also a friend of His Excellency the President, asked me jokingly, "Imshi, Kwabena Donkor papa ipo wasem."
When you were appointed to be the minister of power.
Yes, because
Yes.
it was a no-win position. It was the craziest
Yes.
time to take up the appointment.
When you
but
received that call,
somebody has to do it.
and you were ready to.
I love challenges. I love challenges. I love challenges. No one excels without going through failures, without going through difficulties. In fact, failure becomes failure only when you don't learn from it.
You're a philosopher.
Because it's the building block to success.
True.
It's the building block to success.
What did pressure feel like from the presidency, public, internally, being minister of power, and there was Dumso?
Well, that was real pressure. I was not allowed to switch off my phone.
You didn't?
No. Look, His Excellency the President could call you at 1 a.m.
Wow.
because somebody has called him. And I said he was the first minister of power. I was his nominal minister, but he was. Because if he couldn't sleep, how dare you sleep?
Sleep.
And so my phone was always by my pillow, not on vibration.
Your ringtone will just sound
Yes, because
Your
he
alarm.
could be called by 1 a.m.
Yeah. And he calls you around
And
that
he will
time.
call me, yes.
Doc, that was a very terrible and, horrifying moment. I mean, Dumso, everyone on radio, social media, in person when they meet you.
We waited too long to resolve the problem.
Oh, so you admit that you waited too long to
No, as
to
a nation.
As a nation, yes.
Yes. The first load shedding was during Kufuor's time, apart from the
Rawlings
Rawlings one.
That's right.
Yeah, Kufuor's time. So that was when we brought in the Transderma plant, where we bought power for 28 cents per kilowatt hour, Transderma. And then that was when we brought in the small generators that Dr. Reku Brobe famously called toys. So after that, we went back to sleep. We had a situation where generation was not growing. Population was growing. Demand was growing. So there was going to be disequilibrium.
It was a ticking bomb.
Yes.
And we all knew it.
Disequilibrium, yes. And it takes an average of 3 years to bring on stream a thermal plant. So as a nation, as a people, we went to sleep. Just like we did again after 2015. Currently, touch wood, we are almost at full capacity.
As we start
Available capacity, yes, with our plans, thermal plans, we'll have to add to.
If we don't, and like you're saying, touch wood, there can be
the
another
next
doomsday.
3 years, we'll have to. You see, we refuse as a people to address economic issues. We refuse as a people to address engineering issues as engineering issues, economic issues as economic issues. We address every issue politically.
103.5.
And so it creates a challenge. When the MPP regime came, the first thing they said, there were two great grievous mistakes they made, arising out of political argumentation, not engineering, not economics. They said we had excess capacity, which was one. For every developing country, our president, Nadu, went all over the world touting for investment, trying to attract investment. Somebody wants to come and set up a steel plant. He comes to Ghana, he needs power. Are you going to tell the person to wait for 3 years before you put up a thermal plant? So apart from what we call the reserve margin, because you are using different equipment, if anyone goes down, there should be one available, so you have what we call a reserve margin. Depending on the jurisdiction, 15 to 20%, at a point which was 17% reserve margin. There is what I've always called the development margin. Somebody wants to set up a factory. The power must be available. But until the person comes, and whilst the power is available, somebody must pay for it.
So you planned ahead, and it wasn't like,
Absolutely.
yes, there was excess capacity or excess power, but it was a reserve margin anticipating that, yes, we're going to grow as a country and industrialize, so you need it.
Every serious country has, the reserve margin is for regular operation, so that when one plan goes down, the other one kicks in.
So it's not as if somebody had some kickback somewhere, wanted to get Ghana to
then
spend.
there's the development margin that you need. Go to UAE. They already have about 30% of their national consumption as development.
On standby power. Okay.
Yes, because that is what you attract investment with. So instead of looking at that from an economic or energy economics perspective, they looked at it with political lenses. That was one of the major challenges. The second one was the so-called take-or-pay. A 330 megawatt thermal plant will cost about $500 million to construct in Ghana. Which investor is going to put $500 million into Ghana on a plant without a guaranteed off-taker? Remember, even if the person is a philanthropist, in project management, it's often 30% equity, 70% loan. Which bank will lend that money if there is not an assured off-taker?
Right.
You will never come to financial close. It is only when your economy gets to the level that internally your own banks, your own financial institution, pension funds, and others can finance this project that you gradually win off the take or pay.
and then go for that. Interesting analysis and insights again. But what would you say were your biggest wins and hardest lessons from your time as Minister of Power? Your biggest wins first.
Wins?
Yes, as Minister of Power.
Ending load shedding by 16th December 2015. We formally announced the end of load shedding. You see, let me take...
Was that the end of Doomso? So you are saying that,
You see,
or load shedding?
this is-
Let's clarify it. Yeah.
This is the difficulty. We are so simplistic and sometimes intellectually lazy. So we scratch the surface, do not go down. There is a difference between load shedding and outages.
Okay.
Load shedding arises out of under generation. You don't have enough generation, and therefore you ration.
Ration the power. Okay.
You ration the power. And so we call it load shedding. It's arising out of under generation.
Oh.
But outages,
That is Doomso.
yes. For example, the transformer covering your area is overloaded, and so it blows.
Okay.
It affects only your locality. And those are localized outages. Unfortunately, our culture also leads to that. Again, and that is why our value system, I keep on talking about value, culture, and that is why in development, anthropology, sociology, they all come in. In serious jurisdictions, you cannot put up a house without planning permission. In some jurisdictions, you cannot even add an air conditioner to your house without permission. What that does is that it provides data for utilities that new houses are coming up here, so they get to prepare.
Right.
If the transformer there is a 50 kVA transformer and 10, 20 houses are coming back in that area, they will also then have to increase the transformer capacity there.
Right.
We don't do that here. Overnight, houses crop up in areas, development takes place without planning permission.
So your biggest win,
don't
before we
have
go
the
for the break,
information.
your biggest win was ending load shedding in 2015.
Yes, please.
You famously resigned, and before the break, after setting a self-imposed deadline.
Yes.
Was that decision emotionally difficult for you, Doc?
The-
What values guided that choice?
In fact, the deadline happened because I was challenged. Elton John. We're having an interview. And then I said, look, with the measures we're putting in place, load shedding will end by these days.
Yes.
Then he threw the question, what if it doesn't?
And you said you resigned.
Yes, and I said I'll resign.
And as a man of...
And I meant, because we had put in so much. We had put in so much, and truly load shedding ended then. However, the difficulty was, yes, you now have the generation capacity, but we couldn't guarantee fuel. Because at that time, we were totally dependent on Nigerian fuel. We didn't have domestic source. And remember when the anchor of a ship breached a pipeline. So there will always be...
Was it emotionally difficult for you in saying that you were going to... and you resigned?
No, I meant it. I said it with passion. I love setting challenges, setting myself
Do you
targets.
regret doing that?
No.
In hindsight, you don't.
No. It pushed us, not just me. I had a wonderful team. The current minister was my deputy, the chief director as well. We had a wonderful team. It pushed us to work like crazy because they thought I was crazy. So if you are working with a crazy leader, you also have to be crazy. We worked like crazy. It pushed that. Without that deadline, probably we would have been
You
a
know
bit
that-
more
and then-
lethargic.
Okay, interesting. Well, it's just a minute after 8. We're going for a short break. When we come back, we'll sit down with you, yes, and get to know you more. Growing up, schooling, and some interests of yours. Only on Star Chat. We'll be right back.
It's Bola Ray. It's Bola Ray.
Samsung Kick-Off promo is here. The more the city appreciates, the more we reduce the prices. Double price drop on Samsung LED FHD Smart TVs, UHD Smart 4K TVs, QLED Flat 4K, QLED 8K Neo TVs, and OLED TVs. Deal breaker alert! Buy Samsung OLED 65, 77, or 83 inches and get a free projector, plus a whooping discount. Samsung Duracool top and bottom mounted fridge at amazing deals that you don't want to miss. Buy a Samsung 1.5, 2.0, or 2.5 R40 inverter AC and get a free Wi-Fi breaker. Buy bespoke 4-door refrigerator and get a free glass panel. Buy 7 kg, 8 kg, and 13 kg Samsung front and top load washing machines for exciting discounts that will make you smile. Rush to Electroland showrooms and authorized dealers across Ghana. Call 050-315-9739. Samsung Kickoff promo. It's a goal for savings.
103.5 Star FM. Accra is listening.
Bola Ray.
Bola Ray.
Bola Ray.
Bullets.
Bola Ray.
It's Bola Ray.
Right, so you're welcome back. You're on Star Chat right here on Star 103.5 FM. And some great news from MTN. Well, MTN says something great for everyone, free after one extra. Well, have you guys heard the latest from MTN? If not, then listen. For those of you who love MTN free after one, prepare for the upgraded experience that is MTN free after one extra. Now, let me tell you more about that. What is the extra all about? With MTN free after one extra, you can talk for 1 whole hour uninterrupted while paying for only the first minute of 10 minutes that you talk, which means every 10 minutes that you talk within the hour, you only pay for 1 minute. And you also get to talk for 60 minutes straight with no interruptions. You like what you hear? Well, that's not all. We're also giving away 50 MB, that's megabytes of data, for free after your first call daily. So it's only from MTN. Now, talk extra with all the people that you love. And also from Starr Assurance, we're celebrating 40 years with Starr. 40 Reasons to Smile promotion. From now to the end of the year, you could be one of the many lucky winners who will get to walk away with a whopping cash prize of 10,000 Ghana cedis in our quarterly draws. And many people are winning that. Remember, there's a grand prize. Enjoy a trip to Dubai. A simple visit customer.starassurance.com or call 0302-751-333. That's 0302-751-333. Buy or renew your existing motor insurance policy only from Starr Assurance, your solid partner. We're coming back to our guest, Dr. Kwabena Donkor. Yes, we've done energy, we've talked about ECG, we've talked about a party and all of that. But let's get to meet you. You were born in the Bono region?
Yeah, Yeji.
Tell it, Yeji.
Lonto near Yeji.
Lonto,
Yes.
near Yeji. Tell us about growing up, Doc.
Well, I literally lived with my grandmother, my father's mother. My father, as I stated earlier on, was busy around the Sabronum area cultivating his cocoa farms. And so I lived with his mother in what used to be called Salt Town. This was before the Akosombo Dam.
Okay.
The Volta River was then quite a small river. Cattle, Fulani herdsmen could cross with cattle in those days.
Oh.
And there was this ferry that was manually operated. There was a chain at the other end and a chain at the Yeji end. And then they wanted to bring it, yes. So it was exciting. But we had electricity in those days. Some huge bulbs, street lights then. As I'm the first person to have gone to school in my direct family.
The first person to have gone to school.
Yeah.
So a family of what? If you put it together in your direct family, you'll be how many?
My father never went to school. My mother never went to school.
Wow.
I happen to be the eldest existing born. I'm supposed to have been a Mensa.
Okay.
Because apparently there were two brothers, each born on a Tuesday, and then dies less than 3 months. The second one born Tuesday dies less than 3 months.
Wow.
And so, as you know, in our tradition, they said asasiasa, baby in So my Yeji friends even know me as Asase. Asasiasa. Baby in
And you survived.
And I survived. By the grace of God, I survived.
And you were educated.
Again, the same Tuesday.
Yeah.
And so my father sent me to live with his mother to go to school, because in that village there was no school. So,
Look,
yes.
People like you are blessed, because when we listen to stories like that, where you're coming from and getting to, national acclaim and what you're doing, the national stage and serving, we congratulate you, because it's not been easy.
No, it's not. But it's the grace of God.
It's the grace of God.
The grace of God.
Speaking so well, getting to the best of schools here in Ghana, in the UK.
Then I started Yeji LA number 2 primary school.
You did the middle school living certificate?
No.
Oh, you didn't write
I
all?
passed common entrance and
boy.
then left for secondary school.
Where?
I started off in Yendi Secondary School. Then I transferred to Navrongo Secondary School, where I did my O levels. So I'm in Abia.
Oh, right.
And then I came to...
You speak the language?
I don't speak Kasim.
Kasim.
I used to pick up quite, but over years.
Yes.
I left Form 5 in 1977.
Oh,
so
okay. I identify with that year. Okay, and the sixth form was where?
I came to Labone.
Oh, Labone. Labone. What's your motto again? Labone.
Labone was a phase in my life.
No, that is your school. You should be going back to Labone Secondary School.
I am a very loyal person.
Yes. So
it's like you can't serve two masters.
So you are with Navrungo?
Yes. In fact, I am the year group president for the 77-year group.
Oh.
So I'm very focused.
But still, Labone played a role.
Advanced level. In those days, there were only 4 secondary schools doing accounting.
Only? In Ghana?
In Ghana, 6th form.
Wow.
Navrongo, Labone, Accra Academy, St. Peter's, Nkwetia.
Only 4 schools?
Yeah. Then later, New Drabin.
Achimota School?
No.
Adisado College?
No. This were the
Accra Academy was in there?
No. Yes, Accra.
Navrongo,
Labone, and then St. Peter's.
Best school.
Yeah. And then later, New Drabin.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Navrongo is by the northern border, so I wanted to also come to the southern border. I did that. Then it's been interesting. My life has been one of contradictions.
But even before you are very calm, measured, and principled. Tell us about this, because many look up to you. I've gotten messages that that's my role model. He's very measured, even if when he's making a strong point, he maintains his composure. How can we learn such values, Doc?
Well, if you've gone through what I've been through, remember I was with the PNDC.
Yes.
And in 1983, I was the youngest national committee member when I was made a member of the Confiscated Assets Committee.
Wow. You how old?
In my 20s.
Wow.
Then, not only that, in 1989, November 1989, I was arrested for involvement in a so-called coup d'etat, the so-called Kwashiga coup.
Oh, you were part of it?
Yes, there were 5 of us were alleged to be the leaders. Kwashiga squadron leader Kakpo, who was my colleague at the Confiscated Assets Committee, Fly Lieutenant Dome, he was the one who died in custody, Kwabena Donkor, and Elijah Mohammed. So when I was eventually released for lack of evidence, that was what was said, I just decided to go back to school.
You've seen it all. You've been through life.
And fate, you see, fate, destiny, grace, hard work. When I went to England through Amnesty International, and I doffed my hat to them, I was Ghanaians I met there said, "Oh, we all coming here for money. What's this school business?" I decided I went to school. I did my MSc in University of Bristol, which then had the biggest policy school in Europe, School of Policy Studies. Before I finished my MSc, I had been given admission to do my PhD there. I did my PhD, and before I finished my PhD, I had also gained admission to go and do my MBA in Management School, Lancaster.
Sharp boy.
Because I wanted to straddle both worlds, and that is the advantage I have. I understand policy, and I understand business.
Right.
So I am able to create a fusion of the two. And then if you take the energy sector, for example, I've been in petroleum. I was the first chief executive of BOST. I was the first chief executive of Petroleum Commission. I've been deputy minister of petroleum. Then I got to power.
Petroleum and power, energy is your thing.
So, and I continue to be a student of energy policy. And for me, the day you think you have arrived is the day you've missed the boat. There's continuous education.
Continuous education. And this is the boy from
village boy.
Village boy.
In fact, on the first Ghanaian internet net group, it's called Ochiame. It was set up in MIT in 1991. It's still in existence. On Ochiame, my nickname is Village Boy.
God has been good.
Yes.
A lot. We'll talk about your religious or spiritual life and all of that. But when the cameras are off, who is Dr. Kwabena Donkor?
Kwabena Donkor is this passionate nationalist, sometimes crazy, unorthodox, nonconformist, and therefore I pay a price for it. People think they can't control me. And so, and in a system of patronage, you suffer.
Yeah. And
there's a price to pay.
And you have no regrets at all.
No.
When you're back, you go through the same life again.
Yes. Because, you see, you don't make omelets without breaking eggs.
I love this. It's a takeaway for me. You don't make omelets without breaking eggs. Deep.
We cannot continue doing the same thing and expect to develop. We must break the barriers. We must create discomfort for the status quo in order to break out.
Let's meet your family. Are you married?
Technically, yes.
What technically means? Doc.
103.5.
Are you on the route of divorcing? Are you divorced?
Yes.
Oh, at your age, you are 67 now.
Yes.
And you are divorcing. You don't need companionship, Doc.
Some of the greatest philosophers we had some even never married. So yes, there is a lot of good in marriage. But if it's not working out for you, do you stay in?
So you think that for you, marriage is not your
Not
thing?
necessarily. Not necessarily. Marriage is a contract.
Okay.
You are in the contract and it's not.
So it's not working.
It's not working.
You abrogate
You are
it.
better off to abrogate and remain friends.
Oh, wow. But if you don't want, why do you want to be a friend to that person, Doc?
No, you have issues. You may have children. You may have other things.
Yeah.
And therefore, you can relate cordially.
Okay.
So, yes.
Do you have a cordial relationship with your exes?
Technically, not ex yet. Yes, we talk.
Oh, you talk?
Yeah, yes. Yes.
No, I mean with your exes, not your wife that you're going to divorce.
Yes. No,
the ones before her that you dated.
No,
You maintain
yes.
a cordial relationship?
As much as possible. As much as possible. You see, if you relate to I'm a man, so let me say a lady. If you relate to a lady very well, you see, destiny brings people into your life to walk a part of the journey of life with you. The person may not walk with you from point A to point Z. The person may come into your life to walk from K to M.
So you think that purpose has been served?
If that purpose is served, once you have related to that person, look, no matter the fact that we are no longer together,
You must
that
maintain.
person may be the person who will save you.
Deep.
Here's something very bad, or here's a conspiracy, that there will always be a certain bond. It may no longer be physical.
But Doc, what is it that you've been with this woman up to this stage and age that you can't reconcile or deal with or solve? You are solving energy crisis. You dealt with doom, so that was even by marriage. Doc, what is it that we have to know?
Well, if it works for you, fine. If it doesn't, if it doesn't work for you, be honest.
A move.
Be honest and move. Be honest and move. Look, especially women. Too many women have died staying in marriages that are not working.
Toxic.
Toxic. Is that what we want? Must we
Certainly
encourage? No. If it works, it's the best. If it doesn't, manage the situation and then exit in a way that is not destructive.
What has been your proudest moment in public service so far, Doc? When what happened or when you did what? I know I'm taking you back to reminisce. What has been that proudest moment? To say Kwabena.
It is the State of the Nation address by President Mahama in 2016.
2016. Okay, tell us.
When he publicly acknowledged my work, I believed that was the proudest day. You see, when you are in office,
Yes.
it's easy for people to praise you because they probably know what they will get from you. And I've always said this, especially for the young people coming up in public office. People do not relate to you. They relate to your office. Never make that mistake of thinking people relate to you. Look, when I was at BOST, we set our BOST. BOST was then the quasi-regulator. Remember, this was before MPA, others.
Okay.
So when the Ministry of Mines and Energy, as it was then, gave BOST the responsibility of fixing petroleum prices, we were operating the depots, I could get up to 50, 60 hampers during
really?
Christmas.
They should bring you hampers.
Oh, yes. When we lost power and I left, for about 4 years, I was consistently getting 2 hampers a year.
Every December, only 2 hampers.
Only 2 hampers.
From 60 to.
Oh, yes. And
So it
one
means
was
that it was the
consistent.
office.
Yes. People relate to your office. Never make the mistake of thinking they are relating to you.
That's some good advice for the
People
young ones.
relate to your office. The day you leave the office, you drop immediately 50% of all the people.
Then it means that, Doc, in our society, people don't love you for who you are and all of that. It's more of,
The office. They
The
are
office.
relating to the office.
and what they will get out of that. Is
Well,
that
what? Yes. The chair. Oh, I know the MD.
Yes.
He's my friend.
And,
Immediately you cease being MD, you are no longer relevant.
how did that make you feel that for 4 years consistently, those 2 hampers were regular?
Yes.
Consistent.
Yes. I still relate to one of them. Dan Okujato, Allied Oil.
Allied oil. Oh, all right.
Yes,
Dan
I still-
Okujeto. Right.
Yeah.
He was one
Consistent.
of the 2.
Consistent.
Oh, God bless him.
There will always be.
I know his son Elliot.
Yeah.
Great guys. Yeah.
There will always be people, few of them, who will relate to you almost throughout your life, whether you are in power or you are not. But for political office holders,
Right.
just know that people relate to your office. They don't relate to you.
Good advice. If you could go back in time and speak to your 25-year-old self, what would you tell him?
Oh, I probably will say, be crazier than you were then.
Oh, really?
Yes. You see, you don't resolve developmental challenges by being normal. You don't resolve them by being normal. Then normal is the status quo. We cannot continue in normalcy when the challenges confronting us are abnormal. There will be a mismatch.
So we need that. You have to be crazy at that.
Be crazy for development, crazy for knowledge, crazy for your country.
Look, the way you have passion and love for Ghana and all of that, have you ever been bribed or somebody attempted to bribe you?
Well, it depends on what you call bribe.
It reminds me of a story. Okay, you go ahead.
It depends on what you call bribe.
Okay.
Have I
influence too?
Have you received favors? Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I have. Are those favors?
Did it influence you?
My decisions? No, I refuse to. Yes.
So where do you draw the line then, Doc?
You see, for example, I have a brother almost everybody knows. They call him my brother. But he's even an Eve. And I'm a Guan. But everybody calls him my brother. If today I need 100,000 for something urgent, it's a phone call, he will give it to me. But he knows that our relationship was concretized when I left office.
And who is this brother?
He's a very private person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. We respect
He
that.
was one of my transporters at Bost.
Okay.
A petroleum person, transporter.
Then it means you
Bob
favored
Bola.
him when you were in office?
No. That is why I'm saying that.
It was based on merits?
That yes, it's one of the biggest.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think I know
And
him.
I got closer to him when I left office. When I was ejected from my official residence whilst on interdiction.
Wow.
When NDC lost the 2000 election,
You were ejected from your home?
my official
Official
residence, I was then on interdiction. And by public service rules and regulations, when you are in interdiction, you still occupy your accommodation. You are on half salary until the investigation is concluded one way or the other. I was ejected. And they turned the place into a guest house for board members.
While you were still living there?
Yes, I was on interdiction.
Yes.
So this gentleman offered me a place in Tema.
Oh.
So I went to live in Tema Community 9. And then he left his house in Community 6 to come and live in a one-bedroom flat. It's a compound. He had two houses with me because I was lonely.
Wow. What a human being.
Yes. And so that is why people call him my brother. When his mother died first, when they were writing the name of children, they wrote my name. When my father died, his name was in. So, yes, you have developed relationships.
You
get favors. Like I said, today I'm not in a position to do any favor to anyone.
The hampers have stopped coming.
Yeah. But if I was in any trouble and I called Dan Okuja too,
Yes, he will be.
he would.
Wow.
Because we have invested in relationships. We have invested in relationships.
Thanks for this. And I think that is for all of us to know that it should go beyond the office. Relationships are key. Well, it's now time for us to get into the mystery questions. And we have some questions for you right here. Kindly, you pick one, read it out for us, and then we can make some progress. So the first question that you have there will be:
between the late President Atta Mills and former President John Rawlings, whose leadership journey touches you most
on a personal
level, and what emotional or defining moment from their time in office left a lasting impact on you?
Correct.
I happen to have served under both. President Rawlings was full of passion. Very passionate, very action-oriented, and I was a young kid. I believe we could change the world. And so my relationship with him, and mind you, I was also at the Castle Information Bureau. And at a point, I was also in charge of student and NUS affairs at the PNDC Secretariat. So I had a relationship with him.
Yes.
He put me in guard room a couple of times.
Oh, President Rawlings did?
Oh, yes. I've been in...
Were you very stubborn rebel?
I've been in field engineers guard room. I've been in castle guard room.
I thought you were his friend.
I've been in BNI headquarters, BNI Greater Accra cells. I've been through them all.
The person you served?
Yes.
Why you misbehaved a little some days?
I've always been stubborn.
So you send you to what?
You go to a guard room.
Guard room. And
Yes.
locked up for days.
Remember, I was with the PNDC at Gonda. So I have a certain orientation, a certain training.
Yeah.
So you go to the guard room.
How many days?
Oh, I could stay there for 2 weeks at a time, 3 weeks at a time, 1 week at a time.
And
Yes.
you come back, serve him still.
Yeah,
Loyal.
I will come back. It was one occasion, Mrs. Anna Enin, and PNDC member, went to President Rawlings and asked why I was in the guard room. And he allegedly, because this is, that he said I was very stubborn. And so
between President Rawlings and Mills,
yes,
who will it be?
Mills was my father. I was one of the children of Professor Mills. But you also suffer for being the child of President Mills. Because when it comes to appointment, I remember one famous how I was made the deputy minister. I was called by the then vice president that your father says he has a choice to make between you and somebody. He has decided to make that person.
Really?
Yes. And so, what do you say? But the same president was sending me as an envoy to presidents.
How did he
as
take
a
that?
special envoy?
Yes.
Yeah. If your father says
He was choosing somebody over you.
But he will make you this. If you don't like it, he will send you somewhere else. So, and again in politics, the closer you are to the president, the more likely your interests may be sacrificed at a certain time. Because if he has to please someone, you are family in quotes. And so
you'll be sidestepped for the other person.
Precisely. In fact, we see that in our traditional homes.
True.
Sometimes you go home with your friend, your parents take a liking for your friend, and when we're young, they will give your friend more food with more meat than you.
Meanwhile, it's your home. Yes. Anyway, we'll move on to our next question. So, you tell us, between the two, you didn't make a choice, though.
No, they had different impacts on my life.
Impacts on your life. So you leave it at that. We'll respect that. So the next question, as we pick
wind
that one
up,
up. Yes.
Hopefully.
Yes.
Hopefully.
No, we have 4 questions, so don't worry.
If there is one thing you could go back and change in your political career, what will it be?
Yes.
What will I have changed in my political career? Not going to Garu.
Not going to guard room. All right, so the last mystery question will be...
Oh, why did I pick 2? Okay.
You did. Right.
Okay.
Which one are
Among
you?
the current crop of ministers, which 3 do you genuinely admire for their leadership style?
Yes.
And what specifically?
But the approach sets them apart from your view. 3 ministers.
3 ministers.
This is big, and we're listening to you.
Admire Arthur Forson.
Forson, the finance minister. Okay.
Yes. He's very calm, very deep, and loyal to his friends.
Wow. Minister Ato Forson, finance minister that is. The second one will be, we have 3 names.
The second one will be the current minister for energy.
Oh, John Jinapo.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. He's gotten a spot right there from Dr. Kwabena Donkor.
For having the courage to take on the job.
It's not easy, eh? Uneasy lies where that was the heart. Indeed. So John Jinapo, Ato Forson, the last one will be?
My regional minister for Bono East.
Okay.
Quiet, gentleman.
And his name is?
Let me just remain, because the name I will mention will be his house name, and I don't.
So the regional minister for Bono,
of course, it's Antwi.
The
same name is
Bono,
Antwi.
for Bono East.
Bono East.
Okay. So these three, for you genuinely admire them for their leadership style.
For their leadership. There are others, but you limited me to three.
That is fine.
Because
that is fine.
Somebody like Eric Opoku,
yes, a great minister.
Is a doer.
Okay. Right. So as we wrap it all up, we'll come to your favorite music and all of that and how you unwind. But if you were to sit across the table with the current Minister for Energy today, an advice that you would offer to navigate the system more effectively would be what?
Concentrate on reforming ECG and NETCO. You see, currently we are under recovering cost. As long as you under recover cost in any business, you go and buy 100 units. By the time you come to the market, you have 70 units.
You're out of business.
You're out of business. And no matter the re-injection of funds,
True.
it will not stop until you
Fix that.
fix that.
So you want the minister to look at that ECG NETCO.
Yes.
And under recovery.
And that
Great advice.
Add Ghana gas. I mean, that whole chain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Add Ghana gas. All right. So before we go, your favorite music will be what?
I'm not musical.
Oh, you're not?
No.
You don't listen to music at all.
You're
all about
I
book,
do.
book.
No, I love my worship songs.
Oh, your worship songs.
Yes, I love them.
So which worship song do you want us to play for you as we bring the curtain to a close? Which worship song?
Let me take my sister-in-law's.
Okay.
Any of her songs, Celestine Donkor.
Celestine Donkor. Oh, right. That's your sister-in-law.
Yeah, that's my younger brother's wife.
Oh, right. Oh, Celestine Donkor. Okay, now, yes, it resonates. It rings a bell. Okay, that's your younger brother's wife.
Yeah, Kofi.
Oh, right. Interesting. So you love gospel music.
Yes,
you love the Lord. What
especially
do you fellowship?
the worship ones, not the praise, the quiet,
the quiet ones.
Yeah, I worship at Christ Temple East.
Oh, Christ Temple East City. That's right.
Let me tell you a story.
Uh-huh.
I chair the board of Central Aid, the church's
charity.
Yes. For 10 years. Then at a point, I was approached whether I will want to be an elder. I said no.
Oh, why?
I didn't want
Christ Temple.
Yes, I didn't want to bring the name of God to disrepute.
No, ICGC wanted you to be an elder.
Yes, I was asked. Yes.
Why?
You see, chairing Central Aid, I was using my managerial expertise.
But being an elder.
Being an elder, it is at a different level.
Different realm.
Yeah, I didn't want to bring the name of God to disrepute.
Celestine Donkor here. What a man. What a conversation. We've had a wonderful time, and many thanks for joining us here on the show today, Dr. Kwabena Donkor. A great personality you are, and we say, look, Ghana, we celebrate you. We say, keep on keeping on, and the best is yet to come.
Thank you.
Thank
so
you,
much.
Doc, for joining us.
Thank you to your listeners.
Thank you too. Kwabena. Well, thank you very much. Big thanks to the team out there. You've done it all. So going out to the team, Santok Singh, to Feeling Daddy in Okasari. Thank you very much. Business manager for Starr FM. Erica, our top producer, thank you. To Sylvester, to Frankie, to the whole team, DJ Mono. My name is Kwabena Donkor. This is Bola Ray. God bless all of us. We're out.